So, hi, Dr. Nishimura. So, in today's essay, I will be doing topic one, which was, observing homeless people. And I went to downtown, and, I was walking on the streets, and I just observed every homeless person I saw. And, yeah, this is what I came up with. So, what, tells us that these people are homeless? Is, their status symbols. What do they wear? How do they act? And whatnot. So if you normally see a person, who looks like they haven't shaved or showered in days and they have a smell, or like, their clothes are really tattered and stained, and if they're, normally what is a homeless person holding up is a sign. Normally the sign would say, I'm homeless, I need food, I'm starving, haven't eaten in days, or I need money for, alcohol, or I need money for drugs. Like they would straight up tell someone that on their sign. And yeah, and normally also you would see homeless people lying on the ground with like a shoe missing, or with a bunch of like jackets over their body as they're sleeping, or they're just sleeping on the ground. And yeah, they look really messy and dirty, and that's how normally their symbol statuses or status symbols would show off or tell people that I'm a homeless person. And then after that, I noticed their social groups. I was walking around, and, normally you would see like maybe one homeless person, every block maybe. But sometimes normally when there's a lot of people, what homeless people do is that I noticed that, sometimes you would see 2 to 3 homeless people when there's like a bunch of people, in one area. Like in Market Street, you would see like a lot of people walking, or there's a lot of people waiting for the cable car. So normally a lot of homeless people would gather together there. And their social group is not a primary group, because they don't really, show emotions toward each other face to face. Normally, what they would do is actually do secondary group stuff. Is that they would gather as a group together, like maybe 3 to 2 people, and they would try to have one common goal, which is to get people to give them change, or to get food from people. And of course they have, one common interest. Like I said, they want food, or they want change, or, of course they have the same social status, which is, being homeless. And, with their master status as a homeless person, they don't really normally have, anything, even if they have different abilities or attributes, they're still the same. They're homeless. That's what makes them who they are, is they're homeless. And that's their common interests and common goals that they have with each other. And then what happens is, like with other people, when they notice their master status as being homeless, people would put them down and say like, oh, go get a job. Or they don't even acknowledge the fact that they're there. Like they're always asking like, oh, spare change. And then, you would see, like I would see so many people, like 10 to 20 people just walk by them, not even noticing them. They'll be on their phone, be like, la, 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 like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then they wouldn't even look at the homeless person as he's like, oh, spare change. And then he still tells them, oh, have a nice day, God bless you and whatnot, And then it feels, you feel bad for them. But then, their status gives off to, other people who have a higher status of, having a job or making money. And, they put these people down because, they're like dirt to them. They're lower than the lowest, and they're just like, oh, why don't you get a job? You don't need money. You can make your own money. Go get a job at McDonald's or something. You can do that. And then, that's their master status, as people, notice that in people, in them. And then, you have their front stage or backstage. Normally, people, how they act in front of homeless people, it's not their front stage, because normally people don't have to be actually nice to homeless people, right? Because, what do they have to do? To be nice to them, or do they have to act in front of them? Not really, because normally when we have a front stage, we're always, acting a certain way towards, towards our friends, family, and, teachers, or when we're at a job. But when, normal people see homeless people, they don't really have to do a front stage. They can just be their backstage, and they can just be mean to them. They can just do whatever, because technically, do they care about, what homeless thinks of them? Not really, because they already have a higher status. They think highly of themselves. They think they're better than homeless people. So technically, whatever the homeless person has to say to them, they don't care. So they treat them like shit. And then, as for the homeless person, how do they treat regular people? Well, they can treat them like assholes too. Or, you know, they don't really have to say anything back. But normally, homeless people have a backstage. They don't really have a front stage because they don't really have to act in front of anybody whatsoever. Because, you know, do they have... Are they friends with these people? No. Do they work together? No. Nothing. They'd have nothing in common. They have nothing to do with each other. So a homeless person can just treat them like shit too if they wanted to. They can just act all backstage. And to, you know, their friends or people who are, you know, other homeless people, when they're in their social groups, what I noticed was that, you know, when someone gave one homeless person some food, or like some change actually, some of them actually argued with each other. Like one homeless got like a slice of pizza and then he walked away from the other homeless people. And then the other homelesses were like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, we worked together to get that pizza. Why don't we share? You know, we had the same common interest. And then what did the other homeless reply with the pizza? He said, screw you, you know, like, this is my pizza. If you want your pizza, go get your own, you know, and he just walks away because technically he doesn't have to be nice to these people. Though they have a common interest and though they have the same social status, they do not have to be nice to each other. They can just do backstage to anybody, even homeless, even to the people that have the same social status as them. They don't care. Really, they don't care about what they think about them, so they just walk away with a pizza. And, you know, same thing with their change. If they get more change than the other person, they're like, oh, well, sucks for you, you know? They gave me more change, go get your own, you know? You don't need me, you know? And yeah, and sort of, I feel bad for these people because generally speaking, you know, people sometimes are nice to them. They would give them a couple of dollars, or they sometimes would give them food if they don't want to give money. And then, you know, sometimes it's sad because of people, how highly they think of themselves. They can just treat homeless people like shit, you know, because like they already think that, oh, you're already a piece of shit, you know, your status is lower than it already is. So, you know what? What the hell, I'm going to do whatever I want to, you know? And I sort of feel bad for homeless people sometimes. You just see them sitting on the streets, you know, sitting there, you know, asking for change and some money. And normally speaking, I'd be nice to them. I sometimes go up to them and actually give them maybe a couple bucks. And then, or I give them, you know, a hamburger or whatnot. Because, you know, I want to know that they have at least something to survive throughout the whole entire day or something like that. At least I know one homeless person goes without starving for one day, you know? And yeah, that's what I noticed. You know, homeless people won't share with one another. They don't have to treat other people nicely. You know, their clothing and whatnot show, you know, if they're homeless or not, and their master status and how other people treat them because of their master status. They treat them like crap. But yes, that's all I have to say about this one topic. And yeah, so I'll talk to you later, Nishimura, or I'll see you tomorrow. So yeah, hope, you know, this essay video was good enough for you, I hope. But yeah, so I'll talk to you later, Nishimura. So see ya.